George, Fred, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As George rightly said, this is not my first participation at the Hong Kong Forum. At one of the forums which I attended, I did speak about poverty. There's a slight, subtle but important difference between poverty, which we do have, and expressing it as a wealth gap issue. We did have poverty in Hong Kong. We still have poverty in Hong Kong, and poverty alongside housing shortage, the environment, aging society are the key policy areas that my new term government want to focus on. Happy to report that in the last 2-3 years, the income gap has narrowed somewhat, which is a result of the combination of the statutory minimum wage and also a rather reasonable or strong economy. The benefits of economic growth has filtered down to the lower strata of our income structure. Happy to see that the bottom 30% of the 3.8 million strong workforce actually received in the past 12 months proportionately higher income increases than the average workforce. So that's the poverty situation. As I said, we want to address the poverty issue, the housing issue, the aging society issue, and also the environment issue. These 4 key issues, not so much by redistribution of income or wealth in Hong Kong or by spending government revenue per se. We want to tackle these issues by having a strong economy, and therefore I'm here, and therefore the topic of my talk this afternoon. Before I carry on, I would like to thank the Trade Development Council for hosting this event and congratulate the Federation of the Hong Kong Business Association worldwide on its remarkable work over the years. This forum is one of the most valuable events of the year for Hong Kong, and I'm not simply pandering to the audience. I strongly believe that Hong Kong's greatest strength is in its ability to share its China experience and China advantage with the rest of the world. And we depend on you and your associations to communicate this strength to new investors. To maintain Hong Kong's competitiveness and expand our city's capacity for economic development, I, together with my government principal officials, have been doing our best to open up the mainland and overseas markets for Hong Kong businesses. And whenever I use the term Hong Kong businesses, I do not just mean indigenous Hong Kong businesses, I mean Hong Kong-based businesses, which obviously include the international part of the Hong Kong business community. Just last week, I led a high-level business delegation of over 100 to the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region to learn more about the opportunities there for Hong Kong investors. In September, I led a similar delegation to Chongqing, and more such visits are in the pipeline, and this will include the visit to Fujian province, which is on the mainland side of the Taiwan Strait in January. What's really exciting for Hong Kong, and what I see each time I visit the mainland, is that new corridors of opportunity are constantly opening up in front of us. And that also means new opportunities for our partners around the world. During my visit to New York in June, I spoke about Hong Kong as the quickest and the most effective route to the mainland of China for US businesses and for investors around the world. That is because Hong Kong has the best knowledge, contacts, and experience to smooth the way for foreign firms to do business in the mainland of China. And we are here to share these knowledge, contacts, and experiences with you. Apart from visits, we also spend a good deal of time and energy promoting our businesses locally. Just this Monday, I invited representatives from the Korean Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong for a lunch at Government House, during which we exchanged views on economic and trade relations between Hong Kong and Korea. Before this, I had already invited 5 other foreign chambers of commerce in Hong Kong to lunches, and I will continue to do so in the coming months. Tomorrow, I will attend the opening ceremony of the Business of Design Week and the Business of Intellectual Property Asia Forum, both of which are important events for the industries and the region. Apart from attending public functions, I will also meet with the visiting dignitaries from Belgium these 2 days, including the Queen of Belgium, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and European Affairs of Belgium, and the Minister-President of the Government of Flanders of Belgium. This Friday, I will visit Guangzhou, Zhongshan, and Zhuhai, during which I will attend the Hong Kong Pearl River Delta Industrial and Commercial Circle Goodwill Gathering 2013, an annual dinner attended by over 1,000 Hong Kong industrialists, and then meet with mainland officials. All these go to say that we spare no effort in developing Hong Kong's economic ties with overseas economies, be they economies on the mainland of China or foreign economies. I know some have speculated that the rapid rise and reform of the mainland Chinese economy will somewhat detract from Hong Kong's competitiveness as an international business and financial center. This is rather too simple a prediction to make, which is wide off the mark. Naturally, we anticipate and we welcome more competition from across the boundary and elsewhere. This is the nature of the new economic order in Asia. However, China presents much more of an opportunity for Hong Kong than a challenge. In any event, Hong Kong has over the years thrived on competition and will continue to do so. In terms of connectivity, Hong Kong's links with the mainland China are second to none. Going forward, we shall remain second to none because we are not complacent. My government is taking a more proactive role in building up our cross-boundary relationship, particularly at the G2G, government-to-government level. First, Hong Kong's unique free trade pact with the mainland is a trump card for businesses to establish operations in the mainland of China. The mainland and Hong Kong Closer Economic Partnership Arrangement, or CEPA, CEPA, gives Hong Kong firms and overseas companies incorporated in Hong Kong preferential treatment in accessing the mainland markets. And let me just repeat this sentence, and this is important from your perspective. This agreement gives Hong Kong firms and also overseas companies incorporated in Hong Kong preferential treatment in accessing the mainland markets. So the privileges under this agreement flow through to non-Hong Kong businesses incorporated in Hong Kong as well, and is nationality neutral. This year, CEPA marked its 10th anniversary, and through annual supplements, CEPA is still the most preferential trade agreements signed by the Chinese government. It includes over 400 services trade liberalization measures. However, companies in certain sectors or in certain mainland provinces are yet to fully implement the provisions of CEPA. Therefore, Hong Kong has set up a joint working group with the mainland authorities to improve the implementation of CEPA. The joint working group held its first meeting in June, and we will continue to liaise with our mainland counterparts so that more businesses on both sides of the boundary can gain the full benefits of CEPA. We also work closely with the Ministry of Finance on currency liberalization and promoting the renminbi as an international currency. As China's global financial center, Hong Kong wants more overseas investors to take full advantage of Hong Kong's leading role in China's currency liberalization. Allow me to briefly highlight some of the reasons why our city is the best place to conduct offshore renminbi business. As a pioneer of offshore renminbi business over the past decade, Hong Kong was the first place outside the mainland of China to launch renminbi banking, renminbi bond issuance, and renminbi trade settlement. Of course, we couldn't have done this without the full support and trust of the central government. Since 2004, and that's 9 years ago, Hong Kong has accumulated the largest pool of renminbi liquidity outside the mainland, amounting to over 900 billion renminbi, including deposits and certificates of deposits. This year, the Ministry of Finance issued 23 billion renminbi worth of sovereign bonds in Hong Kong, including, for the first time, sovereign bonds open to retail subscription. Also, investment restrictions of our RMB Qualified Foreign Institutional Investor Scheme have been relaxed, and the quota increased to 270 billion renminbi. We constantly refine our financial infrastructure to handle a huge volume of transactions smoothly and efficiently. Our RMB real-time gross settlement (RTGS) system handles an average daily turnover of 400 billion renminbi. To meet the needs and demands of banks in Europe, we have extended the operating hours of the renminbi RTGS to 11:30 p.m. Hong Kong time. Our renminbi clearing platform currently includes 211 banks, including branches and subsidiaries of foreign banks and overseas arms of mainland Chinese banks. This represents a vast global payment network that accounts for about 80% of renminbi flows worldwide. The renminbi is now the 9th most traded currency worldwide. This is just the beginning when you consider that China is an $8 trillion economy with external trade flows of almost $4 trillion or about 24 trillion renminbi. Private sector-led initiatives in Hong Kong are helping to promote renminbi collaboration with other major financial markets, including London and Paris, as well as Malaysia, Australia, and Singapore. The Hong Kong SAR government fully supports these initiatives to engage overseas partners on renminbi liberalization. So please do spread the word among your association and members that Hong Kong is the best partner for conducting offshore renminbi business. However, we are not placing all our financial golden eggs in one basket. Other recent developments this year include amending our tax laws to promote the development of Islamic finance in Hong Kong. We have also upgraded our trust laws to give a boost to the trust services industry here. As an international financial center that is consistently ranked alongside London and New York, Hong Kong regulators work hard to maintain a transparent and robust regulatory environment that is benchmarked against global standards. None of this would be possible without the enduring success of the one country, two systems principle of the Hong Kong SAR. Under one country, two systems, we maintain our own financial system that is separate to the financial system in the mainland of China. We have our own currency and our own tax laws. We also have an effective rule of law and no restriction on the flow of money. In other words, we offer the combined advantages of one country and two systems. Because financial services are such an important part of Hong Kong's future economic development, we have established a new expert body to advise the government on the best way forward. I announced the launch of the Financial Services Development Council in my policy address in January this year. Last month, the Council published 6 in-depth reports on proposals to further develop our financial services industry. I have mentioned some of the focus areas today. I do hope you will take some time to study these reports to see how the proposals dovetail with your expectations of Hong Kong. Also in January, we set up a new Economic Development Commission, which I chair. The Commission has met 3 times so far and provided valuable insight into the opportunities as well as the challenges for Hong Kong's future growth and prosperity. At the same time, we will not lose sight of new opportunities emerging in the mainland. Last month, the 3rd plenary meeting of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China unveiled decisions to introduce reform measures to our country's economic system, ranging from finance, tax, and fiscal policy. One major decision is to allow more private capital into the market to develop a mixed ownership economy, in which non-state-owned capital will be allowed to take equity stakes in projects featuring investment by state-owned capital. This decision unlocks great business opportunities for Hong Kong enterprises, or should I say, Hong Kong-based enterprises, to explore the mainland market. Another major reform measure is the gradual internationalization of the renminbi. This would lay the foundation for the renminbi to become an international reserve currency. As the premier offshore renminbi business center, Hong Kong will no doubt benefit from this internationalization process. Ladies and gentlemen, I have spoken today about many of the positives for Hong Kong, and I could speak on this topic for quite a bit longer. After all, we are all part of the team Hong Kong when it comes to doing business, and we hope that more international companies will come and join the team. And please remember that each of you is in a unique position to share your own perspectives on ways that Hong Kong can do better for your business associations and their members. I welcome all your ideas. Finally, I wish you a very successful Hong Kong Forum. I also hope that our visitors will find time in their busy schedule to experience the many joys of Hong Kong, and of course, to do some duty-free Christmas shopping. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a happy and prosperous 2014. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Please remain on stage. May I also invite Mr. Lagos to moderate the question and answer section for us. Mr. Lagos, please.
Mr. Leung, thank you so much for those very interesting comments. You have drawn a picture of Hong Kong that I hope all our participants will have learned a lot. What is happening now, and also the basic principles of what makes Hong Kong such a success. Mr. Leung has gracefully agreed to answer a few questions. So if anybody has a question, please raise your hand, and there are microphones going around. So while you are preparing your question, maybe if you allow me, I will ask a question. One of the great principles of the management or the government of Hong Kong over the years has been this positive non-intervention. Is it still something which is fashionable or in your administration?
I've never been able to fully comprehend the real meaning of these few words. What we have said to the Hong Kong Business Community, to the International Business Community in Hong Kong, and to the people of Hong Kong during my election and also after I was elected, is that the Hong Kong government would want to be more proactive. Hong Kong government would want to be business friendly, and we want to proactively help businesses in Hong Kong, and this would include indigenous Hong Kong businesses and other businesses based in Hong Kong to realize their business objectives. And therefore, these measures, and therefore the Economic Development Commission, the Financial Services Development Council, and the many trips I've made together with Hong Kong business people. And I've pledged to the business community in Hong Kong that if anyone has an idea, a suggestion for Hong Kong government, do let us know, as concrete an idea or suggestion as possible. If anyone could tell Hong Kong government in the following way, if you can do the following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, then the following will happen, and that will help Hong Kong's economy. And we will take a serious look at all these ideas and proposals, and we received quite a few. So we want to be proactive. We believe that there's a role that Hong Kong government can play and should play, particularly in the emerging new economic order of Asia, where most governments outside of Hong Kong tend to be much more proactive.
Thank you, Mr. Leung, and I think it was a very enlightening answer, and in fact it was the answer I was hoping to get, so I'm very happy. Thank you. Questions? Yes? Could you state your name and ask your question, please?
It's Mr. C Y Leung. Okay, I am Bill Ng from Des Moines, Iowa. I have a question regarding to not the economic issue, but more like a social issues. Apparently, okay, the government policy has been very, very good on helping the poor and the elderly people. But as I was watching the news, I can see a lot more younger generation protesting or having some kinds of unrest, okay, against the government. And my question is there any plans, okay, to help the Generation Y, which I just learned yesterday, that those are young people, to compete in the marketplace after they graduate from their full-time schoolings?
Thank you very much. It is a very important subject. As George said in his introduction, I chose the topic of poverty in Hong Kong a few years ago when I came to join you. Although there is no apparent and direct connection between poverty and businesses, economic development. Because I honestly believe that economic development cannot be sustainable unless the benefits of economic development flow through to the various sectors of society. We don't need to be egalitarian. We don't need to distribute the benefits of economic growth in exact proportions. But everyone in society, regardless of their age group, the nature of the job, their education level, the skill level, and so on, should be able to see hope and should be able to get some benefit of economic development. And therefore I chose that topic. You mentioned youth. We pay a good deal of attention to not just the employment prospects and the earning levels of our youth. I chair the Strategic Development Commission, and we reformed the commission. We had a new membership under the new term government. I chaired a preparatory meeting and asked members of the commission, what is the single most strategic issue going forward for Hong Kong? And 2 hours later, we concluded that this strategic issue is just one word: youth. What about youth? Education, employment, and general development, 發展 of youth. And then we had 2 formal meetings of the commission where we mapped out the general direction where we should move, not just the society as a whole, but government definitely. There are many areas where government, as a key provider of, for example, education, should do and could do for the youth. We have also mapped out a number of policies. I can't give away too much because we are right in the middle of preparing the New Year's policy address, which will be delivered in a few weeks' time. But youth, alongside other age groups and other sectors in Hong Kong, is going to be something that we'll focus on in the new policy address. Thank you very much. One more.
One more question. Okay.
Hi, Mr. Leung. This is Karen from Orangefield. As one of the speakers mentioned yesterday, one of the reasons that a lot of companies come to Hong Kong is because we believe and we do obey to the concept of rule of law. How do you see in the next 10 years as we work closer with China, how do you think their socialistic rule of law will affect the Hong Kong's economy as well as our rule of law in Hong Kong?
Rule of law is jealously guarded and heavily protected in Hong Kong. We have an independent judiciary. And it's a spirit that not just Hong Kong government keeps, but everyone places a great deal of importance to rule of law. We have completely separate judiciaries between the mainland and Hong Kong. We have totally independent management of the judiciaries as well. And as you probably know, we have different legal systems. So I don't think there's a question of the two merging, or one legal system or one judiciary of one jurisdiction trying to influence the other. But thank you for making that point, because I want to restate the importance of independent judiciary and rule of law for people in Hong Kong, particularly for business people carrying out business activities in Hong Kong. Whenever I ask the question about our competitive advantage in Hong Kong vis-a-vis other cities on the mainland, rule of law, these three words come first and foremost in my answer. Thank you.
Mr. Leung, thank you so much for spending the time with us, and I'm sure that everybody has enjoyed very much your comments, and that will certainly help our understanding of Hong Kong, and so certainly reinforce our confidence in the future and the future cooperation between overseas-based companies and Hong Kong, and using Hong Kong to do the business in China, obviously, and the basic principles of, as you say, the rule of law, one country, two systems. You are a fantastic salesman for Hong Kong, and then we hope that we will be able in our own countries to also repeat your message, and therefore to the good of Hong Kong, and well, to the good of everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.